how a 14-year-old boy wanted to destroy the city of Graz, Austria. Today we're coming to you with not so positive news. We're going to be talking about one of the main reasons why people are moving to Paraguay, especially Austrians and Germans are moving to Paraguay. This is one of the reasons here, and let me read this article to you now, or just point out some of the important highlights of this article. The headline says, and this article has been published by the Austrian newspaper Krone, it's krone.at. I'm going to put the link to this newspaper article right below the video. You can check it out later on. The headline says, call for violence, 14-year-old wanted to destroy Graz. Graz is the home city of Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's also my home city. Good things happen in this city over the past centuries. It stands for so much good. It's a beautiful city. People love it. The architecture, what it stands for, the cuisine, it's a great city. However, what's going on in Austria, Germany, also France in recent years is saddening. It's disheartening. It's upsetting. People are tired of this kind of stuff. Here, this article says that this boy, this 14-year-old boy, is of Syrian origin. And he made a call on TikTok wanting to destroy the city of Graz, Austria. Due to this threat posted on social media, the Austrian government decided to make a terror warning here, and it says the second highest terror warning level that exists. This is saddening. Like, security has been increased across the city. This isn't something that we should be dealing with. And there are a couple things happening here, and I wanted them break down why so many Austrians and Germans are moving to Paraguay right now. If you're from one of these countries, right, Austria and Germany, ich bin aus Österreich, also ich kann das sehr gut nachvollziehen, was hier wirklich abgeht. If you're from one of these countries, my friend, and you're seeing what's going on, you've lived there for your whole life. You've lived there for decades. You have children, you have family, you have friends, you have relatives there. This is your home. All of a sudden, you see how your home is being destroyed. It's being destroyed spiritually. That's the biggest problem. Like, certain people, they want to destroy our countries spiritually and also physically. We have seen a lot of violence. We've seen terror attacks that happen in both countries, in Germany and Austria. This isn't something that we're making up. This stuff is happening. And it's kind of sad to see this. If you've lived in a place and you see how this place is changing for the worse, you're like, holy cow, how did this happen? Now, we got to say here that the government stepped in and does something about it. And the fact that the government puts out the nationality or the origin of this boy is important, that they're pointing that out. I think that's important because I've never heard that from an Austrian, like wanting to destroy Austria. You don't hear that. What's really going on in Central Europe and Northern Europe is that these countries, this area is getting a lot of immigrants that do not want to adjust. They just don't want to. They don't accept our religion, and some of them, obviously, they hate us. I mean, if you want to destroy a place, you pretty much hate the place. Doesn't matter how old you are. And of course, the parents should be brought to justice as well, because the parents, if they have parents in the country, if they don't, then that's a whole other story. But technically, this person is underage, it's just 14 years old. This is very concerning. And we've seen this, like I told you, multiple times over the past years. This isn't the first time that we have seen something like this. In fact, we had a terror shooting, a terrorist attack in Vienna a couple of years ago. That was very saddening. And we're seeing more of this. The question is, what is the solution? Well, we want the government to step up. We want the government to step up and take things, again, the right way. Like, what we want to see is that, you know, if immigration from certain places is not ideal because it is not a cultural fit, it is time for us to reassess the situation and come to the conclusion that maybe this is not such a good thing. This is happening from people from very specific countries that are attending to do this. These aren't Americans that are trying to destroy Austria, right? These people aren't from Sweden. These people aren't from Mexico. These people aren't from Paraguay. These people are from a very specific region that want to destroy our country, our continent, and we are not going to let that happen. However, I understand that so many families now, especially the ones that we're working with, they are like seriously concerned about the situation in Austria and Germany. They see how life has just gotten more dangerous. Life has gotten more concerning. Like, if you have to think about, can I send my kids to school today or not? Or can my kids go to school without me or not? Do I have to bring them every single time because of what's going on now? Like, Austria is a first world country. It is. What we're seeing in Austria is concerning. And I'm Austrian. I'm telling you this. This stuff is concerning. And I'm resonating with all the families that are suffering and with all the people, the locals that are suffering from this. We haven't had anything like this ever. I mean, not in our lifetime. This started to happen over the past couple of years, maybe 10 years or so. It's gotten bad. It's gotten worse. What's the solution? Well, we have to focus on immigration potentially from different countries. We want to have immigrants in our country that love us, We don't want to have people in our country that want to destroy us. Who wants that? Do you want to have that in America? Do you want to have that in Australia? Do you want to have that in Paraguay? You don't want that. Like, it's time for us to cherry pick. And it's time for us to open up potentially to other regions where we can get people in that are more in alignment with our values, and people who love us and people who don't want to destroy us. They don't want to like terrorize us. We don't want people like that. And again, Austria is a neutral country in terms of military, not part of NATO. I know that have waded in now on the Ukraine conflict, but still not part of NATO. And certainly nothing to do with what happened in the Middle East. Anyway, what I'm trying to say here is that families moving to Paraguay, they have a good reason. Paraguay is a safe place. It's great for families. It's probably one of the best countries to start a new life. Like, if you're running away from a threat like this, if you feel terrorized, if you feel threatened, if you feel in danger because of what's happening in Austria and Germany, and I'm seeing it the same too. I mean, think about it. I've been in Asia for a long time, and I, kept coming back more and more since like 2016, and I'm like, holy cow, this place has changed. And I can see that. Why? Because I've been gone. What we want is for our government to step in and do something about it. Because again, this is in the hands of the government. The people have to stand up and protest. We have to fight. We have to fight this. We have to fight for our own rights, and we have to fight to preserve what belongs to us. This is our land. Austria is our land. If you're from Germany, Germany is your land, right? If you're from Italy, part Italian, Italy is your land, right? This is like your home. You don't want to see your home being destroyed. You don't want to see people terrorizing your home that aren't even from that country. This is insane. What are we doing? So this is now a call to all the leaders to step up their game and rethink their strategies and potentially consider, I shouldn't even say potentially, consider opening up the gates, attracting different people, because clearly what we're doing is not working. If this is not going to change soon, something bad, something really, really bad might happen, and we don't want that. What are your thoughts here? Are you currently looking into moving to Paraguay? What is the expectation of an Austrian or German living in Austria or Germany? Are you willing to put up with this for much longer, or are you willing to move out of the country? There's two options, right? You don't want to live in resentment. Living in resentment is what most people are doing. They're just swallowing this. They're like, this is not a problem. It's just a little bit bad. They're swallowing it. But the true fighters here are either people that fight it, that are like, I'm going to stand up for my country and my rights. I don't want to let this happen to my country. Patriotism, right? Patriots are great people in that sense because they want the best for their country. It's not a bad thing to want that. It's not a bad thing to protect your country. You want your country to do well. You don't want to see your country or your city destroyed like what we're seeing here in Graz, Austria. You don't want to see that. So naturally, if you love your country, you want the best for your country. And that's most people that are from there. They don't want to see their country destroyed. That's one option, right? You stand up, you fight, you express your opinion, and you stress the government to do something about it because the safety of the locals is always the priority. Got to be protected. Or B, if you're really fed up and you're like, I can't take this anymore, or if something happened to you, if you saw something that happened to somebody who you know, and you're like, hey, it's time for me to pack my bags and get out of Austria or Germany because something really bad happened or something might happen, you're concerned about that, and you feel like you can't change it, guess what? You can move to Paraguay. Now, share your thoughts in the comments below. As always, I look forward to reading your thoughts, going to answer, and we see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.